All right, we're live, buddy.
Yep.
We'll wait just a few minutes. Wait for a few people to join us.
Yep.
Let's get our cards together.
We got me too.
Mm-hmm.
But this is so shiny.
We got one. Good. There they go. Here they come. We're starting to log in with us. All right. Well, we're back. We took a few weeks off. Life got a little hectic. Work got busy, but we're not going to let that stop us. Jackson had a birthday, so we celebrated that. So he's a big 5 years old now. You show him how old you are? 5. Very good, very good. All right. So Jackson got a gift for his birthday. Jackson got a new Pokemon binder right here. It's pretty cool. It's in for the 25th anniversary. They sent out a new binder with life-size cards. It's pretty neat. So they blew up all the cards, and you can put all your life-size cards in this little binder. And they got the 25th year anniversary stamp right there to commemorate that. So Jackson got that. All right. So what are we opening tonight?
This one.
All right. Show them what we're going to open.
This one.
Okay, we got a Sun and Moon.
Uh-huh.
Sun and Moon, and what's this one? Vivid Voltage?
Lucky May.
Okay, we got a Vivid Voltage, Sword and Shield. So which one you want to open up first?
This one.
Sun and Moon. Jackson wants to open the Sun and Moon.
I got it.
All right, hold on, bud. We got to switch the camera. He's getting a little excited there.
I don't want to do the trick. I don't want to do the trick.
Okay, he doesn't want to do the card trick, so we're going to skip that part.
Growlithe.
No, that's Snubble.
A Snubble.
Wingle.
Good.
Lillipup.
Book.
A Cosmog.
Cosmo.
Rowlet.
Growlithe.
Cosmog. There's your rare. Who's that? Incineroar. Yep. Electric Energy. Great Ball. Boldor. All right. That was our Sun and Moon pack. Very good, very good. Set him over here. Oh, look at our Psyduck. He's fault. Psyduck's not having a very good day. No, I'm not gonna set that up. Okay. Next is our Vivid Voltage pack. There you go.
When we get the Charizard card, then they're gonna.
Well, that's always the goal, isn't it? To get the Charizard card. That's what we always want to pull.
Yeah, that's all you want to pull.
Okay. Right here. You got to put them right here so they can see. Who's that? Aracuda?
Aracuda, yeah.
Mikata?
Mikata.
Piki Pet?
Pipet.
Puccina?
Puccina. Wolf.
Blitzel?
Blitzel.
Trainer card?
Trainer card.
A Grapplock?
Grappler.
That's our rare. Energy? Charmeleon? And who's that? Trumbeak?
Trumbeak.
All right. And that was our packs for the night. Can you tell everybody thank you for joining and watching us open Pokemon packs?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Oh, okay. You want to adjust the camera? There you go.
Bye.
Bye. See you next week. See you next week.
See ya.
All right. Andy's out.
Can I play Pokemon Go?
Yeah, if Mommy says you can. All right. All right. We're going to switch over to the next portion of our video. Give me just a few seconds. And we're going to get right into the word.
I want to watch Pokemon Go.
Okay. All right. My apologies. I kind of took a couple weeks off, but work got kind of crazy and we had a lot of things going on. But like I said, we're not going to set any dates on our progression through the Bible. We're just going to take it 1 week at a time and work our way through it. So we left off on chapter 6. The wickedness and judgment of man. So if we do let's do a little recap of 5 and 6 real quick. So where we're at this point, recap on chapters 5 and 6. Adam and Eve have their third son. They had Cain and Abel. Cain obviously kills Abel. That completely eliminates that bloodline. Then Cain departs his way. He moves further east, and then years down the road, they have another son who is Seth, and then that's where chapter 5 kicks in, and then we basically have the entire family tree or genealogy from Adam through Seth all the way down to Noah. And we get to chapter 6. Basically, it comes to pass that man becomes to multiply on the face of the earth, and then God sees that man's in their heart, they become very wicked. Their thoughts and everything that they do is very evil continuously. So obviously that's a problem when it's continuously. Kind of looks like we're kind of working our way that way right now, and what we're facing within today's world. But he does. There is grace. He does see. He sees Noah, and he finds favor with Noah. He says here on chapter 6, verse 9, it says Noah was a just man, and he was perfect in his generation. So thank God to Noah. Noah walked with God, and Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And that's where we leave off on chapter 6. So. The Great Flood, we're going to start with chapter 7, and I'm going to get right into the reading here. So, chapter 7, verse 1, book of Genesis, the Great Flood. Then the Lord said to Noah, "Come into the ark, and you all before me in this generation. You shall take with you 7 each of every clean animal, and a male and his female, two each of animals that are unclean, a male and his female, also 7 each of birds of the air, male and female, to keep the species alive on the face of all the earth. For after 7 more days I will cause it to rain on the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and I will destroy from the face of the earth all living things that I have made." And Noah did according to all that the Lord commanded him. Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters were on the earth. So Noah with his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives went into the ark because of the waters of the flood, of clean animals, of animals that are unclean, of birds and everything that creeps on the earth. 2 by 2 they went into the ark to Noah, male and female, as God had commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the water of the floods were on the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, on that day all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of the heaven were open, and the rains was on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. Verse 13. On the very same day, Noah's sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons then entered the ark. They and every beast after its kind, all cattle after their kind, every creeping thing that creeps on the earth that is kind, and every bird after its kind, every bird of every sort, and they went into the ark to Noah two by two, and all flesh in which is the breath of life, so that they entered. A male and a female of all flesh went in, and God as he commanded, and the Lord shut him in. So I want to highlight. So God commanded Noah to take basically two of every kind, male and female. And if you look at the text, you see birds, you see animals. He even says cattle. And he also says creeping things, and also in verse 14 right here, they and every beast after its kind. So the word beast right there is kind of what I wanted to highlight in this passage. So they say that the word beast refers to dinosaurs. And that's what the text is supposedly referring to as why he uses the word beast in there. They say that in those times that Noah would have been walking around what we know as today as the dinosaurs. So when you read that, you gotta pay attention to little words like that, because he individually he points out specific animals, but he does lump some of them all into animals. But he does say birds, animals, cattle, and beasts. So what do we know as beasts? What is he referring to? And that's what they're talking about as beasts. So I just wanted to kind of point that out. Verse 17, now the flood was on the earth for 40 days. The waters increased and lifted up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. The waters prevailed and greatly increased on the earth, and the ark moved about on the surface of the waters. And the waters prevailed exceedingly on the earth, and all the high hills under the whole heaven were covered. The waters prevailed 15 cubits upward, and the mountains were covered, and all flesh died that moved on the earth, birds and cattle and the beast and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, and every man, all in whose nostrils was the breath of the spirit of life. All that was on the dry land died. So he destroyed all living things which were on the face of the ground, both man, cattle, creeping thing, and bird of the air. They were destroyed from the earth. Only Noah and those who were with him and the ark remained alive, and the waters prevailed on the earth 150 days. And that is the end of chapter 7. Chapter 8, Noah's deliverance. Then God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the animals that were with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the water subsided. The fountains of the deep and the windows of the heaven were also stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained, and the waters receded continually from the earth. And at the end of 150 days, the water decreased. Then the ark rested in the 7th month, the 17th day of the month, on the mountains of Mount Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, the tops of the mountains were seen. So we're almost approaching a year here. So it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of an ark which he had made. Then he sent out a raven, which he kept going to and fro until the waters dried up from the earth. He also sent out from himself a dove to see if the waters had receded from the face of the ground. But the dove found no resting place for the sole of her foot, and she returned into the ark to him. So basically, Noah's sending out birds to check to see, as a measuring point, to see where they're at, to see if there's any place of any sign of, trees, mountains, hills, tops, anything like that, to see if the waters are basically receding. So if he sends a dove out and the dove comes back, obviously the dove finds no rest. It can't find a place to sit, perch. Obviously the water is still to a point to where the bird has nowhere to rest at. So it's basically a way for him to find a reference, is why he was doing that. But the dove found no resting place for the sole of her foot, and she returned into the ark to him. For the waters were on the face of the whole earth. So he put out his hand and took her and drew her into the ark to himself. And he waited yet another 7 days, and again he sent out the dove from the ark. Then the dove came to him in the evening, and behold, a freshly plucked olive leaf was in her mouth. And Noah knew that the waters had receded from the earth. So he waited yet another 7 days and sent out the dove, which did not return again to him anymore. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, that the waters were dried up from the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked in, and indeed the surface of the ground was dry. And in the second month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was dried. Then God spoke to Noah, saying, Go out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons wives with you. Bring out with you every living thing of all the flesh, that is, you birds and cattle and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, so that they may be abound on the earth. You see how the beast isn't mentioned there that time. So it's a clear indicator. The beast, we believe the dinosaurs, done. Because, it specifically uses that one word, back in chapter 7. But now you don't see that word now after the waters have subsided. Every animal, every creeping thing, every bird, and whatever creeps on the earth, according to their families, went out of the ark. God's covenant with creation. So here's God's first covenant with man. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord and took of every clean animal and every clean bird and offered a burnt offering on the altar. And the Lord smelled a soothing aroma. Then the Lord said in his heart, I will never again curse the ground for man's sake, although the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth, nor will I again destroy every living thing as I have done. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, winter and summer, and day and night shall not cease. And that is chapter 8. And that concludes our Bible reading for the night. I appreciate everybody that took the time to take a few minutes with me to crack open their Bible and read along with me. It means a lot to me. And if you like what we're doing here, go ahead and subscribe and give this a thumbs up. And we will see you on the next one.